Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Today is day 6, the beginning of day 6, which means I have gone through 5 complete days of fasting. This is where I'm going to do a summary and an update for you. So let's get right to it. What has changed? Body weight has gone down 7.3 pounds. Now, if I were to extrapolate that, take my 7.3 pounds divided by 5, that's 1.46 pounds per day. And if I were to times that by 30 days, it would be almost 44 pounds, 43.8 pounds. All right. So if I were to think that way, I would have an expectation that could really mess with my head as I go through. But here's what I know: it's not going to be 43 pounds. It won't be. All right. At the end of the day, your body can burn, if it's burning uh, the maximum amount of fat it can at one time, which really is only about 70% of your energy use, even while fasting, even with intense exercise, even with everything that you can think to do to try to make yourself burn more fat. You're really getting down to about a six tenth of a pound of fat loss per day. Now, if you extrapolate that out, we're talking about 18 pounds of fat over the course of 30 days. What's the last time I did 30 days? I lost about 23, 24 pounds of fat, of pounds in general. So if 18 pounds of that potentially was from fat, what was the rest? All that gook and inefficient fluid that's in our system that needs to come out anyway. It also could be some protein breakdown, right? Protein doesn't necessarily mean muscle, although muscles will change. I'm doing a follow up here on the 6 week anabolic rebuild post fasting, and I'll go more into detail on that. But here's the deal: when you lose fat, fat cells and in fat adipose tissue is 10% protein. As you lose that, you will lose some protein from that. Right? As you break down, recycle, and use parts and pieces that are upgraded or that are eliminated and new ones formed, those are proteins too. There's a lot of ways that protein can come out of your system without it being away from your muscle. You will not lose a single muscle fiber from fasting. Very important. We'll go more into that in the 6 week anabolic rebuild concept. Okay, so 7.3 pounds at this point. Again, I'm not anticipating 44 pounds. That would be a lot of weight for me. If it's somewhere around the original 23, 24, 25 pounds, I don't know what it'll be. I'll be happy because, again, it's a secondary effect. It might be a direct effect of not eating, but a secondary effect for my intention with this fasting. My waistline went down from 37 to 36. Now, depending on where you start, if you have a bigger waistline, you have more abdominal fluid and fat and area to reduce, you normally see a bigger jump. I didn't have as much, so 1 inch to me was significant. I was surprised. Now, well, do I think it'll keep going 1 inch every 5 days? Absolutely not. I think the lowest I've had my waist at that measurement point as an adult might have been 35, right? Might have been 35, 34.5, and that was under some serious protocols, and I was working hard to do that. Okay, my natural body type does not incline to being super thin and lean, and it's just not. I know myself. It's just not there. But we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. Sleep. The cold started about the day before the fast. My niece had just come off this cold. I watched the cycle, a lot of nighttime coughing, not a lot of congestion, and so sleep was disturbed for her. I babysat. Guess what? Same process went on for me. I didn't have a lot of congestion. My throat had scratched and my voice changed. And then at night, when I laid flat, it didn't take long and I was coughing. Terrible sleep, like 3 or 4 nights in a row. I finally crashed. I can't say I went to sleep. I crashed. I think it was like 7:30 p.m. I don't even remember. And I was in bed for 11 hours. And then last night I got about 6.5 hours, which for me is pretty good. And so the difference in that alone, I've been through a lot of sleep issues in my life, some severe ones, right, that I've had to overcome. I know that what it feels like in my body when the accumulation of bad sleep creeps in. And that's what was happening. Was the fast helping or hurting? I can't say either way. I really don't know because it would have been the same process. I've been through it so many times. I'm glad I'm out of it now and I'm moving forward. So that's an important point. I started feeling light, like not just weight, not just spirit. It was a light feeling. I was feeling nimble right around the end of day 2. I take the garbage bins in and out of to the curb when they come and they do the collections, right? And I remember taking those back in. I think it was or taking them out. It was Sunday night, or maybe it was Monday morning. It doesn't matter. Day two or day three, and I just remember feeling nimble, feeling light, feeling like I wanted to move, but in a fun way. Not like I wanted to go exercise. Like I felt like it was a youthful spirit. I like that. That's carried on. It was hindered by the sleep, but it's still pretty fun to feel that physical lightness. Even if we're only talking a couple pounds, it's not from that. Something else is going on in my body. And I wanted to note that in particular. Vision. My visual acuity has improved. My visual acuity has improved. My stamina to be able to read for longer periods of time. I read research studies and books in and out of a day every day, sometimes up to 5 research papers, which can be very long and boring. And there's nothing worse for me than reading a research paper, ending it, and going, what the heck did I just read? Or having to reread a section, or having to write down notes and look up words because I'm it's not clicking. It wasn't happening. So I see an improvement in that, but my visual acuity, I saw better. I needed my booster glasses when I get tired, a lot less. So that has improved. Also, floaters around the eyes. I've noticed them in the past. I don't have any at all. So that's pretty good. I also do a visual contrast test on myself. Maybe I can make a video on that or a separate concept, but that is a visual contrast test that tests the contrast, the shades of gray into dark, from light to dark. And that is a great indicator of neurotoxicity. And my visual contrast test, even in the first 5 days, has shifted into the good to be better. It's gotten better. That means my neurotoxicity, neuroinflammation is going down, because the contrast is on the outside of your optic nerve, which has a direct contact and considered part of the brain. So it's a good representation. That's why I do it. You can do it online. I think survivingmold.com has one you can take for 20 bucks. Right? Follow the directions, do it yourself if you want to do that. I'll do another video on it if there's any interest, but I did notice that is a good sign. Normally, I have a urine test that tests malondialdehyde. Malondialdehyde is the number one breakdown molecule that you see from oxidative stress. This time I haven't, but normally within 5 days, that test is clearing up. It's a urine test. It changes colors. You watch it go from dark, which is toxic, to light. And about day 12, I remember the last time I took it and it was clear, and I had to retake it twice because I thought I had a bad reagent in there. You put the urine in there, it changes colors, and this one didn't. That's happened. That's showing oxidative stress and the reduction of inflammation that goes on through this process. What else? Teeth and gums. I have challenges with my teeth and gums. My mother's line has some challenges themselves, and I've known that all my life, and so I'm cautious of it. What I have noted, I use a hard toothbrush. You can't even buy those in stores anymore. I have to order them special. I don't know why I like them, so I give my mouth a rough run sometimes. Not I'm not recommending it, okay? But let me just tell you, my bleeding from my gums from brushing, although it's not always, but it has reduced dramatically. In the last 3 days, I haven't seen hardly any, and today there was none. And normally I get some. I'll just be honest. And normally I get some, and especially depending on how I brush, and it wasn't happening. My gums are less inflamed. I have different areas that are receding and different things that come with whatever it comes with, and they seem to be pink and improving. My teeth have gotten to me, and again, please don't go measuring this and looking back at videos. I don't need the ego hit. My teeth have gotten whiter, a little bit whiter. I've noticed a difference, right? I noticed a difference. So for most of my life, I never had to worry about white teeth. They were very white, and then they started to change a little bit. And I do what I do. I've never got them bleached or anything like that, but I did notice. I'm like, hey, look, they're looking whiter. That's cool. I noticed that. Maybe in the videos when we do the time lapse over 30 days, we'll see some of that too. But it's just something to note. People talk about the white tongue. I got very little white tongue, or yellow or green or whatever have you. That is a detox reaction, right? That is a detox reaction. So is tartar on the teeth. So is peeling of the feet. So is the cold feeling. So is some of the irritability and sleep disturbances, mostly from oxalates. I'm learning. This is a relatively new lesson for me. I had to dive in deep into this concept when I was looking into women and fasting and some of the things I hear out there that everyone's worried about and they have to change fasting for, that I never saw. I thought I was missing something. I don't think I was, and I don't think you are, but I'll go into that again in another video. But yeah, that those are, and so same with eye crust. Eye crust, oxalate. Those are oxalate crystals coming out. So when your body's processing a lot, either from taking them in or getting rid of them, you can see that eye crusting, tartar on the teeth, white tongue. You can see the peeling of the feet and sometimes the fingers and stuff like that. My feet slough off like I had like I can't, like I am shedding a skin like a snake. They really go crazy, and so I take it as a good thing. I also, when I do my breathing, I'm in the sun and I put my feet in the dirt. No matter what, dirt, ground, something, I'm grounding. That is a big deal. Your feet absorb minerals like crazy. It's the most absorbable part of your body for minerals. We are meant to be barefoot on the ground, getting an ion exchange through that. We don't do it. That's why I do it. So grounding is a cool thing. Again, I can do another piece on that, but that's what I do. Coffee, coffee, coffee. I have used very little because of the sleep issues. A couple times I have used coffee. I've been doing some reading and I'm looking into the hormonal impact of these different drinks, and I'm really interested in what yerba mate does. It impacts the first phase insulin receptors in our gut, the K cells in there that drive a lot of the problems that people have when they're off schedule, off program, and just having health weight and all that kind of issues, blood sugar issues. So I really like that. So I bought some, got some yesterday, got some more coming tomorrow today, and I'm going to start. If I go for coffee, if I think I want to go for coffee as a crutch, I'm going to go for the yerba mate. So that's just something I wanted to put out there as well. I don't know if I will. Again, crutches are included, but they are not required. They are as needed to get you through something, not just because you want something, because you need something. Keep that in mind. Bowels. I'm doing a whole segment later today on the bowel constitution changes and what comes in, what comes out, and all the what it is and how it feels, and at least for me. So watch, be warned. That's all I'm saying. Be warned. It's going to be a pretty crappy conversation. So, but they have changed. All right. So then my plan moving forward, I'm going to go into that in a separate video too. What I am planning on doing is a 6-week anabolic rebound. And I'm going to explain all of it. When I end my fast at the 30 days or longer, I am going to start this process of a 6 week. I have a bodybuilder who I work with, who is big into my work and is a big. He gives a lot of praise for it, and he's gone through some major things and changes within himself through using insulin-friendly living concepts. And I've asked him to be my coach for the workout and the body side. I'm not going to go into a bodybuilding routine. I want to keep it as functional as possible, and I'll explain a little bit more of that in the video. So keep that in mind. That's my plan, and I'll tell you why out there. So overall, I have to say this has been the most comfortable. I'm not going to say easiest because I don't like the word easy. That is so subjective. It is the most comfortable fasting experience I've had to date. My prep and planning, although wasn't planned, was very good coming into this. I had already lost some weight. I had already cleaned up so much. I was already following a very strict insulin-friendly eating plan when I decided to do this. And as we rolled in, I tightened it up even more, and I was ready. And so I have had no problem with fasting. I've had no cravings. I've had no emotional eatings. I've had no impulse issues. I've cooked dinner for other people every night so far, and I will continue to do that. I'll be shopping for other people as well. So, and I have had no charge behind it. Now, I know my worry times. 4:30 in the afternoon. That gets me whether I'm eating or not. That's my like, and not anxious, but I get a little bit anticipatory of something. I don't know what it is. And so normally I would do a walk. Now I've moved my workouts to be around that time so that I can get the system calmed and set before I enter into cooking that meal. Okay. And then, and for the people I cook, my family. Right. And so that has helped me, I think, although I haven't had an issue directly with that. Okay. So again, normally for me, day 5, the hard stuff is over. I feel like I haven't hit the hard stuff. Not that it's coming, that I am in a better spot. That's why we do functional rotational fasting, because if you stick with it, no matter whether you're starting with intermittent time restricted window eating, intermittent fasting, or going or ready for block fasting, every time you go and what you do in between will set you up for the next one to be different than the previous one. If you did a fast a year ago, or with me or with otherwise, don't assume this time is going to be like that. That's a mistake. It will be different. Your body remembers. It is documenting every single thing, and you will build on something that you've done before. And if you set it up differently, it will be a different experience than it was before. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. I'm going to go on to the next videos. I hope that helped. I'll see you in the comments.